Another city in Pitt County, Grimesland, North Carolina. That's what we were talking about.
But first, let's hit it! Hi, this is Alan Victoria. Welcome to our channel.
And if this is your first time in our channel and you wanted to know everything about Greenville, Winterville, all the way to Raleigh and Pitt County, please subscribe in our channel and get notified when we put a new video for you.
Honestly, we get calls, texts, and emails all the time from people just like you, asking us questions about Greenville, Winterville, this video, Grimesland. And we are happy to help everybody, and we want to talk about all of the areas that we cover and we love going to. So this one is it. So this is really close.
Yes. Without any further ado, let's start with some short summary about the Grimesland.
Absolutely. So the summary, Grimesland's a town in Pitt County, just for fun. The town was laid out on grimes and plantations, which became somehow Grimes land. So the total area is really small. It is a 0.05 square miles of land.
Yes.
The population is a whopping 500 people. So you are less than 500 people. So if you're looking for that small town where everybody knows you, really, Grimesland might be an option.
And this town was named after Jen Brian Grimes. That's why they called them Grimesland.
All right, sorry, I missed that.
And basically, because the distance between Greenville to Grimesland is almost 12 miles. Therefore, we are talking about very short distance.
Absolutely, and in some parts of Greenville, it is much closer. He went from city center right there.
And if you wanted to go from Greenville to Grimesland, you need to follow NC North Carolina 33 Highway West.
Okay, that sounds really fancy. Once I get to the nicer Walmart, I just keep going, and I have gone to Grimesland. And that's the nicer Walmart here for Greenville.
What is the density of the people?
The density is 650 square miles. And
the zip code for the Grimesland is 27837.
Okay, the schools are going to be J.R. Whitfield.
Yes, it doesn't have a private school. It has just a public school, as my wife said. And now we wanted to talk about the cost of living, no?
Absolutely.
Therefore, we wanted to talk about cost of living, and the first thing that is super important for everybody is food and grocery.
Well, it's, first of all, we should say it is in general 13% cheaper than the average cost in the U.S. So we are talking about places where are super affordable. Everywhere in our area is super affordable compared to you guys in California or New York or
Denver,
Miami. All the more expensive places are there, but we still have great weather, and I actually love our area. And this Grimesland is just a fun little.
Therefore, if you compare the Grimesland to Greenville, the grocery is very close, almost 1% more expensive than Greenville, 96.5% versus 95.5%. Respect to the basically national average.
But however, on the other side of it, if you are a homeowner, you are more likely to be a homeowner in Grimesland than in Greenville, because in Grimesland, 63.8% of everybody who lives in this small town actually owns their own homes, which is a great number.
And in Greenville, it's just 54.5%, and the rest are renters.
Right. So the median home cost in Grimesland is $250K. It is more with those new constructions that we're going to talk about later.
And in Greenville is $204,000.
Okay, so the utilities are a little less in Grimesland, it's 1.8% less.
And transportation is a little bit more expensive in Grimesland with the 79% respect to Greenville.
Which is 75.4, so it is 4.8% more. Let's talk about housing though, because that is our field that we like to talk about.
Therefore, let's go housing, and this information we pulled out from Zillow.
Okay. Just to give you
to give you the appreciation and what to expect from the housing market in Grimesland, and also comparing them with the Greenville, North Carolina.
Okay, we're comparing to our own little county, not to you guys in California.
Therefore, let's talk about 2022, we are now in June 2022.
Okay, so in January 2022, Grimesland was an average $236K, whereas in Greenville it's $186K.
189, and in February 2022 it was 238. Therefore, it increased, and K and in Greenville was 192.
In March, it was 241K in Grimesland versus in Greenville, which is 194K.
And in April was 244K in Grimesland and 198 in Greenville.
In May, it was 247K in Grimesland, so we're moving up, and then 201K in Greenville.
And finally in June, 250 in Grimesland and 204 in Greenville. Therefore, all these numbers that we said, we're just saying from January 2022 to June 2022, we had 5.93% appreciation for home value in Grimesland. And what about Greenville?
It was 7.93 in Greenville, but again, those numbers went higher. So as you saw, and when you start with higher numbers, of course, the difference is.
Therefore, now we're going to also compare it with the other 2 years when we started the coronavirus.
Absolutely.
In 2021, the Grimesland basically went from 191K from January to basically 2021 to January 2022, which is 236K. And we had 56% appreciation.
And before that, let's start the beginning of the pandemic, January 2020. Before the pandemic started, Grimesland was at 177K. Greenville was at 177K. And in January 2021, it was 191K. So we had 7.91% appreciation.
Therefore, our mistake, that was the Grimesland number. And in Greenville,
your mistake then.
Yes. That was the Grimesland number, which was 7.91% in January 2020 to January 2021.
Yeah.
And let's talk about the Greenville. The Greenville, basically, we had from January 2020 to January 2021, we went from 141K to 154, and we had 9.22% appreciation. What about?
And then from January 21 to January 22, we went from 154 to 189K, which was 22.73% appreciation. So there was still a lot of appreciation going around here.
Therefore, if you look at appreciation in 2021, we had more appreciation in Grimesland rather than Greenville, and 2022 we had more appreciation for Greenville rather than Grimesland.
And I'm going to throw in a number you want to throw in later, but there are 5 new builders building in Grimesland. So Grimesland is an up and coming area where we're going to have a lot more houses because it's just right next to Greenville in many ways. So I'm just throwing out a number from later.
Therefore, let's talk about the absorption rate too. Absorption rate, still we are in the seller's market now where we're talking about in June 2022.
For now.
But if you compare the absorption of last year this time with the absorption of now, we are going from 128% or 1.28 to 0.92%. Therefore, you're seeing that the market is cooling down. And how many days on the market we were talking about in Grimesland?
I have no idea.
The days in the market basically, this year was 4 days on the market and last year was 3. Therefore, days on the market a little bit 33% increase. What about the whole basically inventory that we had this year?
There were 10 active. I'm very confused on what you're telling me. 10 actives, and then am I doing the right one?
Yes. Therefore, in May 2021, we just had 10 active listing, and May 2022 we had 8 active listing, which is 20% decrease. However, if you compare it with the last year that we just had the 4 active listing, we basically doubled it this year.
Okay, so for new listings, it was 9, and last year was 11, which is...
This year was 11, last year was 9, and we had 22% increase. And last year, respect to this year, we were from 9 to 11, therefore our inventory went up. And all that we wanted to say that inventory actually got better from last year 2021 respect to the 2022.
Let's move on to medical, okay?
Yes.
Yes, okay, perfect. We are still talking about being super close to Greenville, so all of the Greenville stuff that we talked about in this other video about the cost of living in Greenville is still irrelevant. So we still have ECU Health Medical Center, Moyne Medical Center. Then we still have how many positions per?
And still we have 349 physician per capita, which is that 100,000 people we're talking about, versus that US average is still 210. Therefore, we have a really good medical care around here for Grimesland too.
4.6% unemployment rate, which isn't bad at all. Job market has increased by 1.1% over last year.
And also, if you're looking at the commuting, is 20.6 minutes for Grimesland, and US average is how much is?
26.4 minutes in the car. Just 60.8% of all people in Grimesland are also married.
And 20.5% of them, they married and also they have children.
Now let's move on to other statistics like income. In Grimesland, 21.5% of people are between 75 to 100K. And
the median income there is 65,000, which is a good median income,
right.
Actually.
18.4% are over 100K, 100 to 150K.
Exactly, and 9.1% of people are between 50 to 60K.
And then if you look at that specific number in the subset, that 50K to 75K is 6.9% of all people. So
therefore, you see that the average of income is really good in the Grimesland.
And like we said, there was one school, so that's it. There was one school.
But still, since this is close to the Greenville, you have the access to the Greenville school. Therefore, you can commute with the Greenville school for that. And as I said, it's just 12 miles.
15 students per teacher, 693 students per librarian, and 370 teachers per guidance counselor, which is all good to say.
And let's talk about the weather in Grimesland. Therefore, in January, the lowest is 32 and the highest is 53. In February, lowest is 35 and highest in 56. What about December?
Why are we doing December so cold there? 34, 56. Let's move on to August.
And if you were talking about the summer, August, for example, 69 low and 88% high.
And then in April in the spring, we're talking 49 and then 53 for a high. So we can see we have nice weather here in the Greenville area, typically in Grimesland. How about rain?
And we have 50 inches of rain in Grimesland per year, which US average is just 38 inches per year.
Yeah, it rains a lot around
What about the snow?
Snow, there's 2 inches per year around here. So there's that one day of snow that we all are excited about. It's a holiday when we get that snow day. The most pleasant months, when would you say the most pleasant months to be outside is around here?
May, September, and October is the most pleasant month in the Grimesland.
There are 216 sunny days, and the average US has 205. So we do have a little bit more sunshine around here.
And if you wanted to say the weather quality, we are 76 out of the 100. Therefore, we have a good weather quality.
Now, people always ask us about crime, right? Crime. What's the crime rate? So violent crime is an A, which is really
A- safe. Yeah.
Property crime is the crime of most of the country, where that Grimesland has a C for that. It's still pretty good.
C plus.
There was C plus. Sorry, there was 14. There was 14 property.
Which is 14 per year.
Other crimes, Grimesland has an A plus, so it is a super safe area. If you're worried about general statistics that we can just pull up from you being online. What about?
Therefore, we are total B plus. From all this crime or safety, which is still much more better than U.S. average.
And my husband likes to talk about water, so I'm going to let him talk about that water.
Therefore, water, according to the government or Safe Drinking Act, they have a report. You can go access to a report that they have for 2021, and they basically monitored for 150 contaminants according to federal and state law.
And the only ones I know are lead, copper, and chlorine.
Exactly. And they basically tested for all the pH, chemical, metals, and bacteria. And overall, 67 out of 100% is the water quality in Grimesland.
In the U.S. is on average 55, so it is a higher water quality than the average U.S.
In the U.S.
The watershed quality is not water. That will come out of your faucet, so that is nice. And they test for all those things.
Exactly. I hope this information that we provide for you is useful.
And if you want more information about Grimesland or any of our videos about our local area, please call us. The number is above or below. I don't know where he's putting it. Below, I think. And then I wanted to say thank you for watching our channel.
And thank you, and see you next video, guys. Bye.